There were at least 10 reported injuries, 5 to 7 of which were stabbings. 2 to 3 of those stabbed were in critical condition. Other sources say that none of the injuries were life-threatening. Referring to those hospitalized, one report said, quote, "The 9 men and 1 woman were between 19 and 58, the fire department said in a tweet, and all had multiple stab and laceration wounds. One of the injured refused to go to the hospital. It was not clear how many remained hospitalized Sunday night." We can also safely assume that there were various minor injuries from the fighting. During the attack, police fired pepper spray balls and rubber pellets, and the mob blew off firecrackers, some of them at horses and the mounted police. As we saw in the video, they used a lot of pepper spray or mace against the racists, as well as some liquid substance that turns red when exposed to the air. Both sides used knives, both sides used things like lumber, bats, and other things to bash each other over the head, and objects to throw at each other.
Don't touch it anymore.
This is just horrible, isn't it? Keep in mind a gun was found on the grounds, a loaded gun. Thank goodness it was not used. And now we'll take a quick look at the regressive left terrorists' celebration of their violation of human rights and civil liberties through the use of violence.
So, everybody that's here today deserves to pat themselves on the back. We've done a great fucking job. I'm really honored to be a part of this today, because we're showing the world
that violence is the successful way we can further our regressive left agendas, that we can engage in terrorism, violate human rights and civil liberties, and get away with it. So you remember the talk earlier before the major fights about how the police were letting them get to the racists? Well, here's some more after the major battles.
See, what's been getting me is the fact the cops actually let us get to them. They've never done that in the past. They usually are accosting us before we even try.
We tried pretty fucking hard, man. Yeah, and they're over there on the horses.
No, they've been letting us get to them, though.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. I've never seen the cops be this sloppy about it during one of these. This is the first time they've actually gave access.
Okay, so you remember the brown beret guy, right? The guy right in the middle of the screen there? The guy who did this? And you remember Family Guy, the guy that's about to run out of the arch on the right? There he is, one running right towards the camera. He was up there with the brown beret and the other few terrorists engaging in violence. Well, here he is in the brown beret.
Oh, that's OG right there, boy. What's your name, by the way? Who you guys with? Chicano Identity. We're Chicanos too, brother.
Williams with the Sacramento Riot. Out here, getting rid of these fucking ignorant motherfuckers. Over there, we need that ignorant bastard pastor out of town, too.
Yeah.
You know, well, a lot of you probably, if you're in the shadow, know about the brown berets.
Oh, yeah, we know about the brown berets.
We down for our people.
Peter Lopez is my uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just talking about that, too.
Crazy horse. He's my uncle. So
Yeah.
He's a brown beret.
Chicanos right here in this circle.
I got a hold of his ass. I got a hold of his ass. Yeah, boy. Were you there when I did that?
I saw this shit right here. I'm right here, man. I'm watching everything.
I said, what's so and then the fat dude goes like this. He tried to come towards me. I took his stick.
Yeah, he went back
Locked
there.
him with the kick him down
He
the
went
stairs.
back there. He had the other guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, you got to move.
I spanked. That's called a spanking. Yeah. Brown pride, homie.
Yeah.
All day long.
Show these youngsters how it's done and shit.
Hell yeah. Hey, right there, boy.
I spanked that motherfucker.
Yeah, man.
Fuck that
Hell yeah.
motherfucker.
Chicano. Hell yeah.
Well, that was fun.
Nice words.
That was good shit.
That was fun.
And now for the wonderful, the reasonable, the completely sane and not at all paranoid Yvette Felarca.
Do you mind sharing your first and last name?
Sure. It's Yvette Felarca, Y-V-E-T-T-E, Felarca, F as in Frank, E-L-A-R-C-A, and I'm a national organizer with BAM.
Yvette Felarca has been in the news for some time now. She's a controversial figure associated with some unseemly practices. She's even been accused of kidnapping and holding a minor. As we've seen, BAMN is focused on recruiting children for their cause, and in these videos you can see adolescents fighting. How many of these adolescents were directly influenced by junior high school teacher Yvette Felarca is unknown. Anyway, for this section of the video, we're going to focus solely on what she says in the post-terrorist attack interviews. In the interest of time and of, well, interest, we're going to take out a lot of the filler. However, the full interviews are available online, and you can see we're not taking anything out of context.
I'm a national organizer with BAM, which stands for By Any Means Necessary. Our whole name is the Coalition to Defend Affirmative Action, Integration, and Immigrant Rights, and fight for equality by any means necessary.
What was the plan? What was the goal today?
The goal today was to shut down the Nazis' recruitment rally.
She is proud that their terrorist tactics have successfully violated human rights and civil liberties, and she is happy that they're going to get away with it. So far, nobody has been arrested.
They were not able to hold any kind of demonstration on the West Steps or any steps of the Capitol, and that was absolutely because of the militant, integrated, direct action. BAM mobilized to get people out here to shut them down, and we're really, really glad that there's been such an integrated, direct action struggle by people who came out to succeed in doing that. To us, there's no free speech for fascists.
Wait, say that again?
To us, there's no free speech for fascists.
Oh, I see. Well, then that would mean that
there's no free speech.
You see, as anybody who's not stupid knows, if you don't believe in freedom of speech for views you disagree with, then you do not believe in freedom of speech. You're just illiberal. You are just the regressive left. You can be opposed to liberal principles and opposed to freedom all you want, but you cannot violate the human rights and civil liberties of other people. If you want to live in a society where people do not have these rights, well, you have the freedom to leave this country. We won't stop you, because we are civilized.
To us, there's no free speech for fascists. They do not have the right to organize for genocide.
That's a bit paranoid.
Fascists know, anyone who's thinking about joining them, don't, because it's not going to be a good day for you.
Ah yes, warnings issued to the public that if you do not comply with their ideology, you will suffer violence. This is terrorism. Keep in mind that they think anybody who stands up for freedom of speech is on the side of the racists. So if you stand up for freedom of speech, these people will attack you. In this video, we have seen them attack people who are simply standing up for freedom of speech.
Our method is to build a mass, militant, integrated, anti-racist and immigrant rights movement, and to do that and getting as many people as possible to take militant mass direct action.
Including school children. Now watch how happy and proud she is that they succeeded in violating the Bill of Rights without repercussions.
So they had a recruitment party. It ended up being canceled, police told us. We're not sure if it's because they canceled it or police said, hey, you can't have it. Or I guess they were permitted by whoever permits people to have rallies here at the Capitol. Maybe they pulled it. We don't know why it was canceled, but we know it was canceled, and that seemed to have been your goal.
Absolutely. The Nazis and the fascists are dangerous.
Now, this is either intentional or Orwellian propaganda, basically accusing the enemy of what you know you are doing. Or this is, in what we call in psychology, projection. You project upon the other what you are and what you do not like about yourself.
They need to be stopped and shut down by any means necessary. And we're committed to making sure that if they try to show their faces publicly again and hold any other rally, whether it's in Sacramento, whether it's any other place in California or nationally, BAM is building and leading a movement that's committed to building militant, integrated, direct action.
Boy, she sure does love to say mass, militant, and direct action, doesn't she? Now, I've been in a lot of marches and protests for good causes, and I can tell you that direct action, well, that means going beyond protest and civil disobedience to things like damage and violence, or some of the activities of the Black Lives Matter movement lately, where they're basically putting people's lives in danger or destroying shops. Part of which Antifa and BAMN seems to be complicit in. Yes, damaging people's businesses. Or flat-out murder. The police killings by the people associated with the Black Lives Matter movement and with Islam lately, That would be considered direct action. Whatever happened to civil disobedience and nonviolence? Whatever happened to Gandhi and Martin Luther King? Well, these extreme illiberal leftists, these regressive leftists, they reject everything good about liberalism. Oh, they say they want peace, but as in the religion of Islam, peace is defined as a constant struggle against the enemy, and peace, real peace, is only allowed if everybody agrees with their very narrow view of things.
BAM is building and leading a movement that's committed to building militant, integrated, direct action to shut them down by any means necessary. That's what it takes. That's what building a mass militant movement takes.
Now, please pay close attention to her facial expressions in this very next part. Tell me what you see. I see arrogance. I see smugness. I see pride in violating the human rights of other people. What do you see?
I saw you from the get-go, not afraid to get down there. The first man who appeared that you guys all
Now listen to how the interviewer is afraid to actually say what they actually did.
Attacked over there.
And watch her facial expressions
every
here.
time it seemed like there was a sign of anyone who may have been a Nazi, the crowds would just run, and that was all part of the plan.
Well,
notice the interviewer said anybody who may have been a Nazi. And you can see that this may have been a Nazi registered in Yvette Felarca's mind when the interviewer said this. Now, listen to Yvette Felarca's response to this, that they attack people who may have been Nazis.
It seemed like there was a sign of anyone who may have been a Nazi, the crowds would just run, and that was all part of the plan.
well, it's important for anyone who's thinking about joining racist genocide and a racist genocide organization like the Nazi groups that were holding this, that they're not welcome. And if they trip and fall in the process of that, good. They need to go.
Hostile pause. Did you catch the micro expressions on her face when she says this? This is a microaggression against the interviewer. She's basically saying, look, if you don't like the fact that we attack people who may or may not be Nazis, we can attack you. It's basically a warning against the public. I mean, this is terrorism. This is how terrorism works.
In the literal meaning, terror is what's described in U.S. Code of Laws. It's the threat or use of violence to intimidate, typically against civilians, to intimidate populations for political, ideological, and other ends.
Is there anything?
And we succeeded in driving them out.
So it seems like you're very happy with the overall come out. Is there anything you might have changed? I mean, 5 people, from what we heard, at least 5 did get stabbed, part of the counter-protest group, which would be your side.
Now, take note of her lack of human empathy, lack of remorse, lack of concern for people who are hurt. Basically, she's going to display a lot of narcissistic traits.
And we are really glad to say that the people who were injured did not sustain life-threatening injuries, and we do have people to keep this movement going and fight even harder, which is what we did after that. The Nazis,
taking no responsibility for the fact that people were hurt, showing no remorse, issuing no apologies.
Into the building, and then they had to cancel the entire event. And so, this is that. But that's why the Nazis are dangerous, and that's why we need to take them on.
Notice she is saying they attacked the Nazis, therefore the Nazis are dangerous. We attack them, therefore they are dangerous. We attack them in self-defense. In self-defense, we came there and attacked them.
The Nazis, a couple of them tried to come out on the steps for about 20 seconds, and they were driven out and had to be scurried back into the building, and then they had to
now project your own violent tendencies onto the enemy.
This is that, but that's why the Nazis are dangerous, and that's why we need to take them on directly, take them on head on, confront them, but with as many people as possible prepared to shut them down, and that is what this demonstration did today.
What does it mean to you that this was canceled, that you accomplished what was set to be your goal?
Well, I am very, very proud of everyone who came out for this protest today.
I gotta wonder if she said that in class the very next day. Children, I am very, very proud of all of you who came out yesterday to violate people's human rights and civil liberties with violence.
We would do it again. And I am really, really glad that we did that. I would do it again, and we urge other people to join us next time. The more people who come, the more we can defeat them in the future.
Yeah, so come on out and join us next time. We'll use violence and violate people's rights. It's great.
People to join us next time. The more people who come, the more we can defeat them in the future.
For anyone who may criticize the militant tactics or the violence, what would you say?
I say it's self-defense.
Just so we're clear, self-defense is not organizing, planning, traveling with weapons, and running up and attacking people with physical violence. That's not self-defense. So what's her excuse? Well, hold on to your hats for this bit of paranoia.
They are organizing to attack and kill us.
Yeah, they probably would want to do that in some sort of fantasy world, but they're not going to do that. They're not suicidal, as we've seen. And besides, the racist organizations, they don't have a criminal record. Antifa have been committing crimes for decades now, and now BAMN is seen committing violence.
And it is what we have to do, because if we ignore them and allow them to just hold their recruitment rallies, they are not nonviolent. And that is why we have to shut them down by any means necessary.
What happened here today with you, with your injury?
Watch her flat out lie.
We shut down the Nazis, and in the process of that, they attacked us.
Yes, they attacked you, I'm sure. They ran into your bats, and they ran into your bricks and your sticks. I guess they pulled you out of your homes and dragged you there. Yeah, they attacked you. Okay. Now watch the interviewer call her out, basically saying, hey, both sides use violence, and then watch Yvette Felarca pretty much shrug it off and say, hey, too bad, by any means necessary.
People that felt like there was a lot of bad words and kind of violence from both sides here today. That's what the police are saying.
You know, racist genocide has to be stopped by any means necessary. And the mass militant action of an integrated group of people that mobilized out here today, BAM organized to shut them down today. Other people came out to shut them down. We succeeded in doing that. And that's what we have to do to stop them from taking violent action against us. We'll do it again. Clear that they clearly are not here to just speak and talk. They are here to attack us. They are here to attack us.
They planned the rally, and then after that, you planned to show up and attack them. And you did show up and attack them. Yet, they were there to attack you. More paranoia, apparently.
They are here to attack us. They are here to attack us. They are dangerous, and they need to be stopped, and that's why we mobilized this action.
Yeah, they came there to attack you, so you mobilized to go there to attack them. In self-defense.
Yeah, stupid is that.
She's a special kind of
She's a
stupid.
special kind of idiot right there.
Yep.
We feared for our lives, so we went right up to him. What? Excuse me? You have to be high or retarded to have some stupid douchebag logic like that they're so dangerous, we're gonna go fight them now. Excuse me? You're afraid for your life? Now let's go picket and throw a sign at their face.
Right.
That's like the mailman throwing like sausage on himself and jumping in the yard with the dangerous dog. You know? And then going, it's the dog's fault.
Yeah, I was defending myself.
I was defending myself against that dog. That's why I have bacon and sausage in my pocket.
I had to shoot him.
Mm-hmm. It was a necessary evil to defend myself against something that didn't have any, interest in me to begin with. Okay. Yeah, you tell yourself that, you crazy bitch. Threatened here today. Lives were threatened here today. Lives were threatened here today.
Clearly, they are dangerous, and we need to keep building this movement.
They're dangerous? Who the hell showed up with bats, chains, numerous pepper spray canisters,
Acid in a bottle.
acid in a bottle, and in huge number, an army of terrorists to take on a group of 30 people who, by the way, yes, they may be neo-Nazis, but they're fucking human beings and citizens of the country, and you all assholes showed up to what, run them out of town? What, bitch, you don't think they have land and they're gonna go home? This is the Old West. We're gonna run them out of town. Right. What the hell kind of reality is this chick in? Does she have a brain, or is it just a hamster on a squeaky wheel with a broken left foot? What are we dealing with here? Because I don't think she's actually conscious. No one can be this stupid and still remember how to breathe.
Right.
Clearly, they are dangerous.
There's that projection again. More paranoia.
This This is about building a militant, integrated movement that's independent, organizes masses of people, and takes militant direct action to stop it.
Is violence the answer to stop Nazis?
The Nazis are the violent ones. We have a right to defend ourselves. That's what we did.
Do you fear that there could be a death in the process if this movement continues?
I fear that there could be a death in the process, and there already are if the Nazis are allowed to continue organizing.
Wow, cognitive dissonance. She fears there could be a death, and there already are if...
Fear that there could be a death in the process, and there already are if the Nazis are allowed to continue organizing.
There already are deaths in the present if, in the future, they are allowed to continue.
Yeah, again, makes no sense. Seriously? The deaths aren't real, but in my head they're real, and so if I allow them to talk, they will become real in the present as in the future. What time in reality are you in? I feel like listening to a really fucked up sci-fi flick.
Yeah.
You know? Yes. This is like some Twilight Zone shit, you know? It's like, just because it's reality in your head, schizo doesn't mean it's reality in reality.
No, you don't understand. They already attacked us, so we travel backwards in time.
Yeah, right. I'm a time traveler from the future. Trust me, if I don't do this now, there's deaths in the future.
Right. They already have
Okay, Terminator. We're running. Blah, blah. Are you going to go get somebody pregnant now who's going to be the savior of mankind in the future? Is this the story plot you're going with?
Oh, goodness.
Good God. Wow.
Felarca, F as in Frank, E-L-A-R-C-A. I'm with BAM, By Any Means Necessary. And our full name is...
a local group in Sacramento?
We have members all over California. I'm from Oakland. And our full name is the Coalition to Defend Affirmative Action, Integration, and Immigrant Rights, and Fight for Equality by Any Means Necessary.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thanks.
I'm reminded here of something Salman Rushdie said, which is, it's one thing to say, I don't like what you said to me and I find it rude and offensive. But the moment you threaten violence in return, you've taken it to another level, where you lose whatever credibility you had. Something else Salman Rushdie said that's appropriate here. One of the problems with defending free speech is you often have to defend people that you find to be outrageous and unpleasant and disgusting. Again, the permit was revoked by the authorities present after the violence began. So, let's be clear about this. The racists' right to free speech and assembly was denied by the authorities because of the terrorist attack. So this is yet another case of rights being sacrificed to appease terrorism. And see, I'm hoping that the ACLU will take them to court for this violation of civil liberties. Let's review the crucial points. 1. In the USA, freedom of speech and freedom to assemble peaceably are civil rights. The law makes an exception for what is known as fighting words in jurisprudence. 2. When they planned and coordinated the attack, their speech was not protected speech because it falls under fighting words. It's in the same category as calling for a bombing of abortion clinics, calling for the murder of gay and lesbian people, and other such calls to action. 3. The BAMN Antifa side did not engage in peaceable assembly as defined by the Supreme Court. They were violent. They planned to be violent. Their objective that day was to engage in, quote, the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims, unquote. In a word, terrorism. So, they are terrorists. 4. The terrorists violated the right to safety, a civil liberty, of innocent bystanders who, as we saw, they put in danger or attacked. 5. The terrorists used speech and assembly that are not protected as civil rights to violate the civil rights of assembly and speech of the racists. 6. Being against human rights and civil liberties such as freedom of speech is illiberal. 7. The regressive left are people on the left who oppose liberal principles, who are illiberal. Hence, they are regressive left terrorists. The regressive left engages in terrorism. It is wrong to use violence to silence free speech, even racist free speech. Don't be illiberal, be liberal. Don't be regressive left, be liberal. Stand for liberal principles, freedom, and equality. We cannot let these regressive left groups like BAMN and Antifa violate constitutional rights, civil liberties, human rights, and civil discourse. As we have seen in the news, these regressive left people have gone from censoring and no platforming people they have small disagreements with, to almost assaulting them, to assaulting them with fists and eggs, and now they are using bricks, clubs, knives, and stabbing people. What next? Will they go after a group of atheists for criticizing a certain religion? You know which one. Will they stab college professors for studying differences between the sexes? Will they attack people for eating meat or dairy? I mean, some of these Antifa people are militant vegans. How long before they kill somebody? In Sacramento, the regressive left terrorists had signs that said death this and death that. In this video of a Trump supporter being chased, people are chanting kill, kill, kill.
Can we let these regressive left terrorists terrorize? No. Fuck these regressive leftists. Fuck their censorship. Fuck their no platforming. Fuck their violence. Fuck their uncivil disobedience. Fuck their violation of universal human rights, civil liberties, and constitutional rights. If you do not stand for the rights and liberties of people you disagree with, then you do not believe in these rights or liberties, do you? These bigots should be tried in the court of public opinion. They should be confronted, not with violence, but with reason and evidence. It could be demonstrated that their beliefs do not stand up to rational analysis, and that their views are not ethical. This can't be demonstrated with violence, or with censorship, or no platforming. Non-violent demonstrations against groups like this and anything unethical is still important, but violence is not the answer, and hatred is unhealthy. Try to love your enemies. On some level, try to love everyone. No one is born evil, and everyone is human. Peace.
Don't forget to submit to me. To my channel. Subscribe. Damn it.